right, and with that, I would like to present our presenter for today, Gian Gayatao, who is the Legislative Affairs Director for Region 5 and also the Equitable Practices Chair. So you have the floor.
Thank you for the introduction, Tony, and welcome everyone to Finding Common Ground, going into the students' life in the pandemic. So this really is just a safe space for us to immerse ourselves amongst each other, our stories within the pandemic, and just be able to see, how has the past year been? It's been full of a lot of a lot of very eventful circumstances happen with regards to what's the backdrop of what's going on in our country, to our personal issues having to deal with the pandemic, and just the realization how important mental health really is. So right now I'll be going ahead and sharing my screen at the moment, if I could find it. Let's see. Okay. All right, I'll be presenting this. All right. Let's see. Take two. All right. So thank you. I think we have 20 people as of the moment, and we'll be it's Tony, VPF Tony Schiff-Meyer's already gone through our housekeeping rules, and we'll just get right into it. So this one's going to be our first breakout session. It's going to be about 10 minutes, and we'll take time for about 10 minutes to see how we ask each other. I believe about a group of 5. I think 5 breakout rooms would be good enough. And just ask each other, how are you doing? How are you doing? What has been the highlights of your quarantine? What has been the downsides of your what has been the downsides of your past year? And just get to see each other, how you are right now, and how you've been for the past week, the past month, the past year. And after 10 minutes, we'll be going ahead and have each one representative from each breakout room present back our discussion right after. So VPF, if you can set up our breakout rooms for us. Thank you. Okay. I think we have everyone back in the main session, so we'll just be going down each breakout room from the first to the fifth. Anyone share what are like the outstanding characteristics from your group? Like, what has stood out in your pandemic? How are you feeling right now? How what is something that you can share with us today?
Well, I was going to talk about with me doing online learning, especially with disabilities and being deaf. It was so hard for me. I almost gave up because I had teachers who didn't understand what I was going through, and there was no help. But I decided to not give up, and I made it through the first semester. And now the second, I'm doing good on my own. I figured the only thing I was concerned about, we didn't have the teachers who support us. It wasn't there when we needed them. We had to learn on our own. So that to me, that needs to be a big change.
Definitely, Teresa. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I think
Yes.
one of the main focuses that we have really is being able to secure this idea of equity, not just equality anymore, right? Being able to to treat each other with dignity and respect, and also at the same time, just providing resources for students who need it most, especially those who are made vulnerable by this pandemic, as you
Yeah.
have mentioned. Which breakout room were you from, Teresa?
I think 4.
We're from the fourth one. All right,
Yeah.
we'll hear from breakout room 2 right now. Anyone from Breakout Room 2? Let's see. VPF. Do they have the capability to unmute themselves?
Yes, they should.
Okay. All right. Let's go back to Breakout Room 2 in a bit. How about Breakout Room 1?
If I may.
Yes, please
Awesome.
go ahead.
In our group, it was kind of interesting because it seemed that we all had like a similar outlook from like the pandemic perspective. I mean, at the beginning, we were excited that, we got a spring break or whatever you want to call it. And, due distant learning, we all had more time to do things. And now it's like, okay, this disconnect between our students and our friends and our clubs and our, student government and all of that is crazy. And, the disconnect between the teachers and the students it's terrible. And we kind of all decided like, yeah, we're ready to go back. Like it's time to get rid of this disconnect. And I mean, of course we want to go back safely, but we were talking about the vaccine and how hopefully soon we'll be all able to get it. And so that's kind of what we discussed in there. It was really nice to see everyone's kind of like on the same page. We're not in this, no, we're not in the boat alone.
Absolutely. And delegate from Las Positas, could you say your name so I can recognize you?
Oh, I'm so sorry, Kyle Johnson.
Kyle Johnson. Well, thank you. I really would agree with that. In the beginning we were promised only a 2-week quarantine, but we always hear nowadays that it's our 1-year anniversary of that 2-week quarantine. But hopefully, as we see the light at the end of the tunnel, having the vaccination rollout progress in our state and the whole country, that we will soon get to that point. I think as humans, we're not really meant to be isolated. We're meant to interact with people. We're meant to be immersed in each other, and to learn from each other's similarities and difference alike. So thank you for that. And Breakout Room 5. Let's go to Breakout Room 5. I was in there for a bit. So anyone from Breakout 5 would like to share?
I think I was in Breakout Room 5, but I'm not exactly sure about the number. Was that the one you were in?
Yes, Monica.
Okay.
Yeah. You can go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So we were talking about like how we were doing, and one thing that we kind of all appreciated was how easy it was to attend meetings like during quarantine, but at the same time it's like so draining because we're expected to be able to attend all of these meetings, because it's just you log on to Zoom and then there you are. But it's still like hard for students. And we were also talking about how events have been on our virtual, online formats, and how it's great, when you can have students join in these events, but at the same time, it's still difficult to get that participation. But myself, I'm always like grateful for like whatever amount of students we can have join in on those. And that's some of the things that we were talking about, like how we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, I think that's always been the problem of one of the hardships that we face as student leaders. It's being able to effectively reach out to a population of thousands of students, having to manage being able to connect really directly to students. We all have this one goal in mind, which is to serve, right? To serve and be of service to our peers, because we are in it together and we want to be able to help them. And I think we just got to keep pushing in terms of reaching out to students in any way possible, whether it be through messages, through Canvas. Have your teachers be able to send out these mass messaging, or just reaching out from friend to friend. And I think it's just having that resolve is important in maintaining student turnout, student engagement, student empowerment. All right, let's go back to Breakout 2. Breakout 2.
Hi. So, in our group, we were just sharing like stories about family members who passed away, or or relatives who passed away, and just kind of the overall feeling of like, just like, it's weird because everyone feels very like alone, but it's like a common feeling of loneliness, which is just kind of interesting and unique. But yeah, like at my school, we're trying to direct a lot of our like events, trying to kind of alleviate that a little bit. Um, but yeah, just like kind of the overwhelming feeling of like loneliness is this was kind of the theme.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. Having had COVID myself, and also having my whole family had COVID, and having my mom in the intensive care unit for almost a month or two. It was one of the worst feelings that we ever had to experience. Some of us have lost loved ones. Some of us have uh, almost lost loved ones, and it's definitely the hardest thing that we have to deal with pandemic: loss, grief, and loneliness. And it's always important to remember, those around us, those who we've lost, but also at the same time, especially in this time, uh, make use of it to be able to reach out to the ones closest to us and just be able to tell them like, hey, just reach out. I think, tell them how you feel, or ask them how they're doing. So definitely, thank you for sharing. I think, are we miss? I think Breakout 4. Have I called that Breakout 4 yet?
I did Breakout 4.
Oh, Breakout 4. So I think we got everyone. So I'll be going ahead and
Breakout 3.
oh, Breakout 3. Sorry, my apologies. Breakout 3, please go ahead.
Hi, my name is Christine Peters. I'm the delegate and student trustee for College of the Redwoods, Region 1. And first of all, I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate the fact that we have closed captioning in our breakout.
Yes.
Like Teresa, myself, I am hard of hearing, half deaf,
Yes,
and sometimes I don't hear all the words from the video. So it's nice to be able to see the words, and then also overall having the sign language interpreters provided. That is super helpful. So I just wanted to share that I appreciate that. In our breakout room, we had talked about mental health awareness and the collaboration around that, financial struggles that folks are having with food distribution, and administrative decisions based around that. And it seems like there's a consensus also of feeling like there's loneliness, people coming in their first year of community college and not being able to connect with folks because their peers have moved on to other places, and just that feeling of loneliness. So I think it's really important that we're all here supporting each other and listening to one another. So thank you for being here.
Thank you. We really appreciate that comment, Delegate Peters, and we're glad that hopefully that we hopefully you've had the chance to attend our deaf awareness town hall. Hopefully that's only the first out of many that we'll have in the future. Our work here of diversity, equity, and inclusion really is to bring into the spotlight populations or groups that have been really put in the shadows, have been left behind, throughout our history, systematically or not. And that's the mission really of the SSCCC, to be able to um, provide resources to improve student access, engage student populations, so that we have that college experience that we have, that community and community college. And that's why we're having this conversation right now, to be able to just hear each other, what are the things that we're going through and how we can help each other. So I'll be going here and sharing my screen again for our presentation. We're done with the first breakout session. We'll move on to second one. Oh. So mental health, by definition, it's a state of well-being in which every individual realizes his or their own potential, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to his or their community. So that's the definition set by the World Health Organization. But as we've highlighted throughout our first breakout session, we're really in this very unprecedented time. Like there's a pile up of emotions, pile up of exigent circumstances within our lives that can cause stress and anxiety. Grief we mentioned, the escalation of fear and bigotry as equating Asian Americans to be the cause, to putting blame on Asian Americans, and just the rapid increase of hate crimes in our society ever since the murder of George Floyd, and it's definitely hard to witness, but we should also take that as a resolve to keep fighting it, to keep fighting racism in our society because it still exists. That's our reality, but it should be on us to be able to um, be beacons of hope, be beacons of goodness, against any source of hate or violence, in our communities in America. And when we experience inequality, inequity, um, in terms of basic needs, uh, in terms of other resources, and along those are having to really juggle all these commitments, responsibilities, personal work, academic life, and we also had the impacts that we had on physical tolls, mental tolls, psychological tolls, and that includes this array of emotions and changes within our habits. And it really is important to recognize these, to be able to know the root of the problem, so that we can come up with solutions to be able to mitigate the problem and solve them ultimately. And then our second breakout room is this question: how do we find a balance in our personal and academic lives? How do we really, being a student leader has a lot of responsibility tied to it. So how do we find that equilibrium within ourselves uh, to be able to give ourselves fully in both of these commitments? So we'll be going back in our second breakout rooms and also having a discussion. I would say, for the essence of time, I would say we can move it to 8 minutes. 8 minutes. Hopefully that's good enough. So VPF Tony Schiffmeyer, if you could please do the breakout rooms again. Thank you. Hey everyone, welcome back. Second breakout session. Let's get right back to it. Okay, let's go down the list again. Breakout room 1. Let me go back to the main screen. There you go. Breakout room 1. If anyone would like to share.
I can go again, but if someone else wants to talk, they're more than welcome to. For breakout room 1. I don't want to take over. If not, that's okay. So in our group, it was kind of interesting because we also learned another thing that we're all in the same boat about is we don't have a personal life right now. I mean, right now it's either school, student government, or work. And whether or not there's a few hours at the end of the day or not is debatable usually. There was I forget who mentioned it, but they said that they put aside one day or maybe a few hours in a day just for their own personal life, and I think that's a great idea, and I'm going to be next week I'm going to try that, but that just means I have to push the work earlier in the week. So but I think it's a great idea to you have to find a balance, but whether or not there is a balance currently, definitely for me, not at all.
I think that definitely resonates with all of us. We don't really have a personal life. we don't have free time. We don't have, because our day is always packed with meetings. Especially student leaders having to take full classes. I know in breakout room 5, it was Areli Vargas, and she shared with us, having to manage taking care of her children while at the same time being involved in student leadership and taking a full load of classes. So I think it says a lot about us, our resiliency. Our theme is the General Assembly's growth through resiliency. So I think it's definitely highlighted in each and every single one of us. All right, go into breakout room 2. Anyone from breakout room 2?
So I think I might have been in breakout room 2, but what we kind of talked about was about being able to set boundaries between our school life and personal life, because especially during the pandemic, it's really easy for those two lifestyles to get mixed together, and having all those tasks mixed together, it can look overwhelming. So being able to set a boundary and also, having giving ourselves more breaks in between, or maybe like a day off, like was mentioned before, is a good way to really help give us a break from those two lifestyles and being able to organize everything as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think breaks. It's like, I think we could all use one. Give me a thumbs up if we could use a vacation right now, right? And just being able to have that. It's hard sometimes, right? But I think it's important to realize that. It's important to say that sometimes I can't just go all gas and no brakes on one thing. It's important to have that time, set time for ourselves, set time for our family, set time for our friends, or just stay down reading a book or going out for a run. I think that's really important. Moving on to breakout 3. Breakout 3.
I believe I was in breakout room 3.
You can go ahead, Emma.
I'm pretty sure, like 90% sure. So we kind of all talked about, first we kind of talked about like what we use to even manage like our own brains and like how we keep track of everything that's going on. We all kind of had a consensus that Google Calendar and having like a to-do list is absolutely essential when you are student leader, when you have a part-time job, and when you're managing your own schoolwork. I genuinely don't understand how people live life without a calendar and things to organize their thoughts in that way. So that was the first thing we all kind of talked about and just emphasized the importance of. And we also talked about, I know it's already been mentioned a few times, but having like one day a week at least where you kind of clear your schedule as much as you can and take like a self-care day, have a mental break. Just kind of don't worry about your schoolwork, stop answering emails for once, and just take a little bit of a break, because we all need it sometimes. Like Gian said, go for a run, play some chess, I don't know, watch anime, do whatever you do in your free time, and just let yourself be yourself for a little bit too. It's important. So yeah, that's what we talked about.
Thank you for your comment. Emma stopped me, having served with Emma in Region 5. I'm the Legislative Affairs Director. Emma is the Regional Affairs Director. And she's taught me pretty well to, she's pretty much humbled me in a sense that, I need a calendar. I kept saying that, I don't need it. I know it by heart, by mind, but no, I eventually gave up to it, having to all these meetings. So I think it's definitely important. Self-care is the best care. Make yourself whole. Give time for yourself to analyze the everyday life that we have. All right, moving on. Last but not least, breakout room 4.
Okay, so I'm from breakout room 4, and we discussed many things. Some of the people discussed that they spent the time to focus more on school, and the other half discussed about how on days off, or they would leave maybe if they're able to a couple hours each week to have more of self-care and to watch Netflix, to do stuff where they can get their mind off of schoolwork. Like they could spend all day long doing work and maybe an hour before they sleep have just a relaxation. And then when it came to like feeling away from everyone, a lot of people discussed how video games or like even virtually like on a Zoom with people really helped them, since they were able to connect with people face to face, even if it wasn't in person.
Definitely. I think we can all look back to a couple months back in 2020, Among Us at its finest and at its popularity. I think that has gotten us through it. That has gotten us to be connected with each other, whether it be our friends or people that we serve with in our student senates. Finding that outlet for us was really key to be able to thrive in this pandemic. But yeah, let's move on to our next slides. I'll be sharing my screen again. Okay, so we've discussed how we cope with quarantine stress and anxiety. So we mentioned creating this regular routine to keep us going, to keep us flowing, because our balance it's always thrown off. It's like a scale. We add on to one side and it becomes out balance. So here are some other ways that we could help implement in our daily lifestyle to mitigate stress and to keep our mental health in check. Practice deep breathing exercise. I think meditation, yoga, stretching, going out for that night or morning walk every day, staying connected with people, making sure that you keep talking, you keep yourself moving. I think it's important to reflect. It's important to always evaluate ourselves every day, but at the same time, we also, just got to keep ourselves moving so that we can have, we could get things done, and at the same time, we feel accomplished at the end of the day. And throughout the course of the pandemic, we crashed and we burned, but it's important that we just kept ourselves active too. Offer yourselves and others grace. Be understanding, be kind to each other, have empathy, put yourselves in the shoes of other people, and realize, what are your blessings and privileges that you had, and what the others don't, and be able to give them that grace and be just understanding of the situation, especially in these tough times. And lastly, never be afraid to reach out for help and support when you can. Um, I believe that no man is an island, or no man or woman is an island, and we thrive by our relationships that we have with other people, and we succeed in life because of everyone that we meet, and the impact that we make upon each other. All right. And this one is something that I would just share on a personal level. This was from U.S. Special Operations, the Navy SEALs. And this is what they call the threefold world mindset. And to be able to find the balance of yin and yang in our lives, it's a matter of really focusing on things that we can't control and the things that matter in our lives, being able to realize what those are, and making sure that we just go day by day. Every day is a clean slate to be able to work on our goals, our dreams, our visions, our individual and collective endeavors. And I think that if we at least try to live in this three-foot world, that we are able to um, find that balance that we're looking for, and that we can act, that we can activate the passions in our hearts, and at the same time we could armor our minds to be able to keep us in check, to be able to keep us going in every single day. I think we have VPF. Since we started like about 10 minutes late due to the technical difficulties, um, should we extend the time to 2:35, or should I start wrapping it up?
I think our timeline's till 2:45.
2:45. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, so we'll move on to our third breakout session, third and last breakout session. Um, and then for this one, we'll be discussing how do we make an impact in our communities? How do we uh, put ourselves forward? How do we extend ourselves to each other in our schools and in our society? And yeah, let's get to it. Breakout rooms one last time. Question is, how do we make an impact in our communities with regards to mental health? How do we collectively and individually assess the mental health situation in our communities and be able to extend ourselves to be able to help in those scenarios? Let's start with Breakout Room 5 this time. Breakout 5. Anyone from Breakout 5?
I think I'll go and share what we talked about. We talked about just knowing about potential resources that you can recommend to people who are experiencing mental health crises. I think that's the plural. Um, and also, if there are resources that are available, like maybe like outside of school, that would be like more useful to students, being able to recommend those. And just being an a shoulder to like cry on, or like an open ear like that listens to what people are going through, because you never know what someone's household situation is. Maybe they don't have anyone that will listen, but if you have the mental capacity to like listen to what they're going through, um, just listening and maybe like recommending like clubs that they can participate in, or maybe being involved like in student government or something, if that's something that would be interested to them. That's how you can help someone.
Absolutely. As you mentioned, be that shoulder to cry on, like that song. I think "Lean on Me" by Bill Withers. Um, it's being able to be there for each other, especially in this time, to take care of each other. As we continue to um, see our situations unfold and be able to live every day and see how we go about our days, I think we have to be able to just live life amongst each other's companionships and experiences and just learn from them, because I think we really have a lot to learn from each other. And this alone, even though the simple conversation with each other, lasts for only an hour or so, I think it's important that we share our experience. It's important that the student voice, that we let it be heard. With each other, and also with faculty, with administration, with staff, and to anyone involving the community college system, our partners up ahead in the chancellor's office, the League of California, the board of trustees in the districts that we represent. Let the student voice be heard and empowered. Um, but yeah, let's go to breakout room 4.
Does anyone else want to speak, or should I just go?
I was gonna go.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I guess we didn't remember what the question was. So we talked about helping people who could get out for food, the food pantry, and helping what I did, help the elderly in my community that couldn't get out, make sure they had food, so they wouldn't stress over it.
Absolutely. I think basic needs is essential at our core. It's always been our priorities before the pandemic. In the pandemic, our very own VPF, Tony Schiffmeyer, has written a resolution on securing housing for students, consistent housing for students. So definitely, like, students shouldn't have to choose between a rightful quality education and the food that they have to eat for the day, or the rent that they have to pay for the month. So definitely, um, outreaching for basic needs within your college. Empower it. Let your voice be heard. Like I said earlier, empower that voice. In your community efforts. Thank you for that, Teresa. Um, Moving on to breakout room 3.
Is there anyone else who wanted to speak on our discussion? Okay, I'll go ahead. So we just kind of talked about the beginning of the conversation was kind of revolved around how it's kind of been discouraging recently, trying to make an impact in your community, especially being a student leader. And it's just because you try to bring people together, the way you used to in person situations, and it's a lot harder. And we were talking about how there are points where you get excited for just having like 1 or 2 or 3 students showing up to your SBA events, and it gets kind of discouraging. But I know Sue mentioned that at her college they have implemented like mental health check-ins, where students would attend and the SBA members would attend, and they all just kind of come together and check in with each other on how they're doing mentally. And I think that was a really, really cool idea. I think it just comes down to, no matter the circumstances, like the thing that Gian presented earlier, focus on the things that matter and the things that you can control, and focus on providing these spaces for people to come together and talk to each other. And if people don't come, that's okay. But just know that you are providing those spaces for them. And if people do come, hopefully they get something out of it. I know Sue said her college students were getting a lot out of it. So that's a really good example of some of a situation where it did work. So yeah, that's what we discussed.
Absolutely. I think it's a theme that we're trying to reflect upon all of this. It's, come, as Emma said, come together, amongst each other, and just be there. Reach out, each one teach one, each one, reach a hand, to the best that you can, of course, and be there for everyone. Thank you for that, Emma. All right, breakout room 2. Then we'll move on to breakout room 1.
So I can go ahead and speak for my group. So something that was emphasized in our group was being able to motivate students and talk to them directly in order to be able to help them, because it's one thing to be able to have all these resources available, but we should also be able to contact them directly and let them know that these are available, because not a lot of students may know what services we could provide. And yeah, that's kind of what we talked about.
Yes, I think that's a big part of student outreach, is trying to figure out what's, whether it be through surveys, whether it be through, whether do students prefer, like, one-on-one reach outs. So it's important to be mindful of that aspect of empowering students, to be able to let them know. I think that's at the base, at the core of it, is, in our strive to provide help and resource for students, it has to be accessible. Because if it's not accessible, then we may have all this uh, esoteric plan in front of them, but if it's not accessible, if they don't know where to go, they would not get it, or they would not get it, or they would take so long to get it. So I think, thank you for bringing that point up. I think it's definitely important. And lastly, but not least, breakout room 1.
I'd love to speak again. I'm a very talkative person. So I actually wanted to bounce on one point, and then I wanted to see if Delegate Peters would be willing to share what their college just released on behalf of, like, the mental health services, just because I thought it was a really cool idea. Otherwise, I would be more than happy to share about it. But there was a common theme that in our group that it's hard to reach out to students, especially in the online campus or online, university, just because you can't walk around, to the classes and survey students and see, where can we help and what services do you need? Like, how can we help you? And it's hard to get, wow, I said that word, administration at your college or the outreach team to effectively ask the questions that you want. I mean, at least at our school, we don't have the power to send out mass emails to get survey responses and stuff like that. So we kind of discussed like how to resolve that issue. And everyone kind of went over what their school has done to like help their students, or when they come back to campus, how to make them feel safer. But if Delegate Peters would like to talk about what they did at their campus, that'd be cool.
Yes, thank you. So I was just sharing that one of our concerns has been mental health awareness, and our college actually has fees associated with healthcare, and each student has a mandatory fee they have to pay every semester for healthcare. We have 3 campuses, and 2 of our campuses are very remote, and we don't have access to the healthcare because the healthcare is located at our main campus. So we have sought out a group called Kira Health. It's spelled Kiira Health. And I believe they're based out of Sacramento, the Sacramento area. They came to our community and had done a presentation, and it is an app available for college students. It's a free service to students, and they can access counseling, they can access family planning, or birth control. They can access any type of healthcare issue they're having. It also includes family counseling and marriage counseling. So it encompasses our mental health awareness package that we're trying to facilitate for students. They take our funds from the mandatory payment, and I believe that's what the administration uses to pay for this app that's available. So it's accessible to everybody on their cell phones, and we've been trying to figure out if it's accessible to computers, like laptops, if students can download it there. We have a wide range in our service area that we provide services to, because we facilitate 3 campuses on 2 different counties. So it's really interesting. We've only enacted it about 3 weeks ago, so we're still trying to get the message out there for all of our students to let them know that this service is available to them and they can access it at any time.
Thank you for sharing that, Delegate Peters. I think Kira Health, if I'm not mistaken, right? So I think that's going to be really helpful. That's monumental. Starting small in your communities, but that I think that will eventually. I will definitely bring this up. At our next board of directors meeting. As also chair of equitable practices, I think this is really helpful stuff. Now that we have always been fighting for the extensiveness of Prop 63, the Mental Health Services Act in 2005 when it was passed, starting at $1 million and now up to generating to $15 billion for mental health in California. So I think that will be really helpful. So since we are at time, I'll be going ahead and closing us off with a couple of slides here. Almost there. And we're addressing this action-oriented goal, right? Raising awareness and taking action. First, what we need to do is normalize mental health. Make sure that there's no stigma that still revolves around it. There is a reality is that there is, but we want to eliminate that stigma. Mental health is essential. It's a part of our well-being as human beings, and we have to make sure that it's normalized. That if we have issues with mental health, that we're not thought of as lesser people, but actually just we have to take care of that part of our well-being and health. Number two, reflect on yourself every day. Take time each day to, to look back. As we mentioned in the first two breakouts, find that balance, that equanimity, to be able to see yourself, look in the mirror. What do I need to do in each day? Are there some things that I need to change? Are there some things that I need to work on? And for us, there's always something, right? As students, as student leaders, there's always something. We just got to find it and have our passion always there going. Number three, check on the people in your life. Tell them how much you love them. Right now, if you can't do it, reach out. Reach out, tell people that you appreciate them. And I think sometimes we take that for granted. And just make sure that you're able to say now, right now in the present, to the people that mean the most to you, how much you love and appreciate them. Number four, be a difference maker in your campus, which I'm sure you already all are. We are already all are in this room, in this virtual session. So just keep working hard. Keep the good fight. The last slide is this: be the one to ask, keep them safe, be there, help them connect, follow up. Just be there for each other. We got this. We're going to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And if you have any other questions, if you'd like to just keep in touch, keep in contact, my email is right here, ladregion5 at studentsenate.ccc.org. Our wonderful facilitator, Tony Schiffmeyer, her email is vpf at studentsenate.ccc.org. I just want to say thank you for coming to finding common ground and just sharing each other's experiences here. And I hope you have a good rest of your, what day is it today? Friday. Good rest of your Friday. Enjoy the rest of General Assembly. It's definitely an experience that you will take on forever in your academic and personal career. So, but again, thank you everyone, and till next time.